Yeah, that's the key. He's got to be behind the ball, and I think he was at the moment there that it was headed across. Menez puts it into the back of the net. Now, was there a flick earlier? Was Benzema potentially offside as the free kick was played into the centre? Maybe. You couldn't see from that angle, but very, very big call there from the referee.
And then, of course, Spain went right down the other end, won a penalty, which they subsequently missed. So, really intriguing end to the first half. Still Sergio Ramos with the goal that separates the sides. Spain against France, and France the last nation to actually knock Spain out of a major tournament back at World Cup 2006. And that first knockout round meeting in Hanover, which the French won by 3-1. And of course, from that moment onwards, Spain have won everything.
No, they've been dominant. They've been superb. The style of football is I think what's most impressed people, the unique style that they play. I haven't seen a team possess the ball, keep it, and so technical ever before. And of course, their penetration is the key. We haven't seen so much of their penetration in this game because France have been well organised, but it certainly is there waiting to come out, I'm sure.
Well, periods of sustained dominance are so rare, aren't they, at the international level? Especially when you're looking at the global picture. Spain have already come up with an unprecedented 3 major titles in a row and be shooting to make it 4 in Brazil. Got to get there first, though. And this is Group I, with 2 European powerhouses matched together, and that in itself is a bit of a rarity. Not so often you see 2 of the top teams in the world actually coming up against each other in European qualification. You might say, well, are France really a top team in the world? Well, they're still ranked number 13 in the world by FIFA. That's one more than Brazil.
Yeah, well, there you go. And I think what's unusual about it is that you see in a game now that the neutral will look at this game and say, my goodness, this is one-sided. You know, the team in red are all over the team in white. They have the ball all the time. They're near the goal. But that's just an indication of how good this Spanish team is. It really is. France will have their game plan, which is exactly the same in the first half, to remain compact and get situations like this where they can win the ball and spring forward.
Ribéry had a quiet first half. A man once called the jewel of French football by no less an authority than Zinedine Zidane.
Yeah, I like him a lot. I like him a lot. He's got pace. He's got an eye for goal. Good skill.
Well, we saw David Silva go off early in the first half with a knock, and now Alvaro Arbeloa looks to be ailing. Well, that could pave the way for the hometown member of this Spanish squad to make an appearance. Juan Fran seems to be limbering up. So a second unscheduled change, so to speak, for Vicente Del Bosque is in the offing. Juan Fran, who plays right here at the Vicente Calderón for Atletico Madrid, and appears to be on the verge of winning just his 4th cap, and he's receiving some last-minute instructions from Vicente Del Bosque. Debuchy hemmed in. Del Bosque yesterday, Robbie, saying about Spain that we need to constantly evolve to stay one step ahead of opponents who study the way we play very closely.
I 100% agree, and you know, everybody's going to watch this team. They're going to study them, they're going to watch video on them, they're going to see where the strengths are, how they can potentially stop them. And I think what we've seen both with Spain and with Barcelona in particular is I think teams have figured out they've got to remain compact. You can't be too deep, which means that defensive line has got to stay away from the edge of their own box. They've got to risk a little space in behind just to make it compact so Spain can't play through you.
Well, some defending from the front there by Frank Ribéry. That's what happens, of course, sometimes when you get forward men making tackles. He's 6 of one, half a dozen the other here, although it was It's a slightly high foot from Ribery.
Yeah, but you're right. I mean, they both had their feet up going for the ball. It's a bouncing ball. What are you meant to do? I mean, you've got to challenge for your feet for that. As you've seen now, Wanfran, the right back coming into the game. Here he is. And more of a attacking sort of player. Can play wide midfield as well. He's more like Jordi Alba, I guess, and Arbeloa is a regular standard fullback.
It's a big night for him, isn't it? The 27-year-old. Only recently forced his way into the national team picture. Just his 4th cap. Of course, the crowd wondering whether they're going to see one of their all-time heroes at all tonight. That would be Fernando Torres. Vicente Del Bosque now has just one more change to make.
Yeah, I think it'd be a good move as well. I don't think Cesc Fabregas has played well, Adrian. I don't think this game suits him. He loves the little spaces, the pockets. He's found it very difficult to get on the ball. Look how compact it is between the back line and the midfield line of France. That's what makes it difficult for him, in particular, to get involved and make an impact.
Pedro chipping away at the Debuchy there. To Jordi Alba. A spin move from him doesn't quite come off. It's almost a matter of routine, isn't it, for Spain when they do lose the ball? They win it back so quickly. Wanfran. Rise in the air of expectancy in the local crowd. Wanfran matching those expectations with a surging run. But now Ribery let's try and exploit the gap left behind him. On it goes towards Benzema. Jordi Alba determined to match him stride for stride, leaning in, and in fact has got the decision in his favour. Benzema adjudged to have been the aggressor.
Yeah, I thought this could have gone either way actually, but Benzema gets around most players, but not Jordi Alba because he's so quick. Great acceleration from Alba, shoulder to shoulder, battling for the ball, and the referee gives it in favour of Spain. But that's what Jordi Alba gives you as well. He gives you that ability to get forward. He's technically good as well. But of course, he's so fast, so when he's back there in situations where there is a bit of a panic up, he can get back and sort it out.
Santi Cazorla. It's beyond the range of Cesc Fabregas. France almost playing themselves into a sticky situation. Xavi. Iniesta taking over. Determined to stay on his feet. Could easily have gone down there. Sure, Hugo Lloris wanted the ball played back in that particular situation, but he got it clear. Not much relief, though, not much respite from the constant pressure and prodding and probing that Spain always provide.
Yeah, but they're having to go wide, Adrian. That's the key. They want to go inside. Right now, they want to go through the middle. There you go. Got it that time.
Debuchy with a Route 1 clearance. This amazing record that Spain have put together, particularly when you look at qualifying campaigns. They've actually won their last 24 qualifiers for both the World Cup and the European Championships. That's not unbeaten. That's 24 straight victories, Robert.
Yeah, it's unbelievable. It really is. It just shows you the attacking flair that they have and the way that they manage to find a way to score goals, and that's what's so key about it. They don't keep ball just for keeping it safe. They penetrate. They look to penetrate all the time.
Wanfran is the latest to do so. Last time Spain failed to win any sort of qualifier over 5 years ago, September of 2007. A 1-1 draw against Iceland, of all people. If you're wondering the last time they were beaten, you have to go back even further, October of 2006, when they lost to Sweden. It's a measure of the task facing the French here tonight. And the level of optimism from the media, the French media, I think they'd declare a public holiday if they took anything home with them from this encounter.
Yeah, I mean, it is a group competition. This isn't a very difficult away game for France. If they can get a point out of this, they've got every chance still right now at 1-0, absolutely in the game. Then it'll be a great result for them.
And remember, just the winners of Group I go through automatically to Brazil. The runners-up will have to face the treacherous path of the European playoffs. There's going to be some big names. Some names you'd rather not play. Almost certainly in the hat when it comes to those playoffs. Teams that finish second. Here's Karim Benzema. Gonalon. Wide to Jeremy Menez. Menez is back in France now, playing with the big moneyed club, Paris Saint-Germain. 3-year spell in Italy, playing for Roma. Which wasn't the happiest time for Jeremy Menez. Scored a goal for France at the Euros in the victory against Ukraine, and it's Maxime Gonalon who's going to be removed here. And this is a positive move, isn't it?
Yeah, it really is. Valbuena, very much an attacking wide player, small dribbler. Gonalon is the holding midfield player now, is out of the game, so a different system, more players to get forward. It's the right time to do it as well. More than nearly an hour played in the game, and France are behind. They have to do something. Deschamps made a positive move.
Early score from Germany, and Sweden making a bit of a comeback there. They were 4-0 down in that game, got it back to 4-2. Ibrahimovic amongst the goals for the Swedes. Talking of PSG players. Pedro, who's scored 5 goals in his last 3 games for the national team now. That hat-trick against Belarus and a double against Saudi Arabia in a friendly a couple of months ago. Evra to Ribéry. Back to Patrice Evra. Ribéry! Oh, it opened up for him and he rippled it into the side netting. His first serious look at goal.
Well, that's good work initially from Patrice Evra here. Forced nicely for Frank Ribéry there, and he just takes an early shot, gets great power on this. Not much of a backlift here, there's not much space to it. There's very little deflection as well, I think. As that shot comes in there, it's very close, isn't it?
Spain escape any further damage from the corner. Casillas will launch a counter-attack. Certainly some more seeds for French optimism have been sown here. Frank Ribéry, who scored against Spain in that victory in the World Cup at 2006 in Germany. It was Ribéry's first ever goal for France. And he's on the move here again.
Mathieu Valbuena is playing just in behind Karim Benzema, so he's kind of a withdrawn striker. Menez still on the right hand side and Ribéry on the left, but it's certainly obviously more of an attacking move. There he is, number 8, Valbuena, be ready to counter-attack when they win the ball back.
Jordi Alba skipping around the back delightfully, and Fabregas! Mamadou Sakho, a really stalwart piece of defensive work there. Sakho managed to deny Fabregas, and now Benzema is on the move. Or rather Ribéry, Benzema in support. Ribéry has found Benzema. The flag has gone up. And there shouldn't be nearly as much doubt about this particular instance.
Well, this is better, isn't it? France having a go. Love to see it. Having an attack at Spain, put him on the back foot. Might mean they're a little bit more susceptible to concede a goal. More space now in midfield with Gonalon's gone from that area. Might see a little bit more of Cesc Fabregas, Iniesta, Cazorla. But for the most part, you have to say, particularly in the second half, been fairly quiet.
And France again pouncing. Benzema could be through here. Karim Benzema just wouldn't ever settle for him, and credit Xabi Alonso, he wouldn't allow it to settle. What a challenge that was from the Real Madrid man. Now Santi Cazorla. Reached the hour mark at the Vicente Calderon. This game has a wide open feel about it at the moment. It's Valbuena.
Great work from Blaise Matuidi in midfield there, winning the ball from Iniesta. That's the key. That is the key. If you can take the ball from those guys when they're going forward and take care of the ball like France are doing right now, then you're going to have a chance.
Nunez losing out to the hustling Pedro, has continued his run and is rewarded. Pedro trying to set the table here. On it goes to Xavi. Wow. Xavi's first touch for once deserted him, allowed Koscielny to come across and intervene.
I can't believe it. The player that's probably got the best first touch out there. Let's look at that offside from before. That's closer than I thought, you know. It certainly was offside, but only just.
It was a lot closer, wasn't it, than it initially appeared. I think they got it right, though. What a completely different dynamic to this game than the one we saw in Donetsk in that Euro quarter-final. France seem to have got some self-belief back here. Ribéry trying to ramp it up another notch or two. That's a slack pass from him, gave Valbuena no chance. Only Spain's 10th visit to the Vicente Calderon here in national team history. Of the previous 9, they've won 7 and drawn 2. And Spain really don't have a national home, a national stadium per se. They do switch their games all around the country.
You can see what that's given the French as well. Just a little bit of extra bite in their movement, the determination to win the ball back, to get stuck in. It's a different game now, you said it. The likes of Valbuena, this guy here has made a difference, and tactically they're a little different. I think France have enjoyed that.
Shocking scoreline coming in for the Portuguese, who trail at home to Northern Ireland. 1-0. Remember, Portugal lost in Russia on Friday. Here's Jordi Alba. Another jet-heeled adventure from Jordi Alba, but no end product this time. Koscielny. It's easy to forget about Laurent Koscielny because he is 27, in the middle of his career, but he's a relative newcomer at international level, isn't he? Just his 6th cap tonight. Mathieu Valbuena, the current Marseille man with the former Marseille man on the ball now in Franck Ribéry. Driving to the byline, what a great cross that was. Benzema couldn't take advantage, he might still, he's teed it up for Cabaye. France doing some fairly heavy pounding on the Spanish door here. Evra. Ribery again, 2 for company. He couldn't solve the puzzle. Xabi Alonso will try and be the release foul for Spain.
Just get a feeling they're missing Sergio Busquets in midfield, Adrian. When the ball turns over and breaks down, Spain are struggling in there. Xabi Alonso and Xavi Hernandez in there, and Iniesta. They don't really want to work all the way back. Busquets is used to doing that job. Of course, he's playing as a central defender.
Still Spain 1, France 0 here in Madrid. 20 minutes into the second half. And France giving a much better account of themselves than they did Deschamps than they did 4 months ago at the Euros. He promised a more pragmatic and physical approach. Also said rather cryptically before the game that it's not always the team that dominates. Trying to nip in Lloris though with some quick thinking.
Yes, really good goalkeeping, you know. He's got quick feet, good acceleration to cut that one out. Because it looked like Cesc Fabregas is in there, a clever through ball.
Now flag has stayed down here. Benzema, only Sergio Ramos for company. Benzema! Well, Menez was ghosting in late, too late.
Great defending. Look where Sergio Ramos is showing Karim Benzema. He knows all about him, obviously. He wants him on his left foot. You're not coming inside, you're not coming inside. Forces him wide there, and of course it's a whole different ball game. Here's the chance from before there. And again, I think this time actually it's the fullback, Jordi Alba, that comes across and just puts off the last player there to score a goal. So Spain have certainly been asked some real questions in this second half.
One of the better displays I can remember being put in against the Spanish team in recent times. What France have done here in the second half.
There's a little nutmeg through the legs there. That's, I thought Cesc Fabregas going to be in here, but the goalkeeper very quick. Off his line, he sees it, slides in, and makes a comfortable save.
Well, Jeremy Menez has made his last contribution in this one. He's going to make way for Moussa Sissoko now. He's been sometimes described as a little bit like Patrick Vieira in his box-to-box qualities, Moussa Sissoko. High praise indeed. Plays his club football with Toulouse. An extraordinary game developing in Germany. Germany were 4-0 up against Sweden, and now it's 4-3. The Swedes firmly on the comeback trail. Now here's Benzema. Starting to get some joy up front now, Karim Benzema. Used to playing on this ground, of course. He comes here across the city with Real Madrid. Conundrum that is Karim Benzema, unable to replicate his goal-scoring form for Real Madrid, where he became the top-scoring Frenchman ever last year with 21 goals. And his rate for country is less than half that for club. Here's Fabregas. Oh, it took a deflection. Lloris would have been wrong-footed and helpless.
Nice little move there, wasn't it? To get a little bit of space in midfield there. He's got Iniesta, he could have played. And again, the big defender, Mamadou Sakho, has had a fine game at the heart of the defence there, alongside Koscielny, who's, of course, had that nightmare challenge in the first half.
Xavi with the corner for Spain. Oh, Sergio Ramos. Well, at least he was at least somewhat marked by Sakho. Still won the header in towering fashion, didn't he?
Yeah, he just kind of got free with the bodies there. Just got a little bit of a run on the defending player there, but the ball's a little high for him, can't control it.
Still remarkable to think the only goal of this game coming as a result of that man getting free inside the penalty area. Xavi, delicately done for Pedro. I'm interested to hear Pep Guardiola saying that basically he feels now, in hindsight, it was a mistake to leave Pedro out of the Barcelona team at times last year in favour of the likes of Teo and Cuenca.
Yeah, I was surprised at it. I thought that, you know, maybe it's something that we didn't know. It wasn't looking good in training. His form was off, and Pedro had a really disappointing year last year. But of course now he's keen to make amends, and as we see there, a player that's very, very popular in this stadium, Fernando Torres, and it makes sense for him to get a run out as well. I think Fabregas has struggled really in this game to be that effective forward.
Well, if we don't see Fernando Torres tonight, you'll have a chance, we think at least, to see him on Saturday morning. Spurs against Chelsea, our next offering from the English Premier League. 7:30 AM Eastern on ESPN2 for that big London derby. What a cracker that should be. Jordi Alba on his way. Nice little cut back. Couldn't find any takers. And it remains delicately poised, this one. That's clever between Ribéry and Valbuena. And he's still full here for Ribéry. Oh, they were queuing up. There's been some elevation on that ball. There were 2 or 3 open white shirts. They're waiting Frank Ribéry's delivery. And now Ribéry trying to make amends. And bowls over Xavi.
Well, I know that Sergio Ramos scored the only goal in this game so far, but I tell you what, he's been immense at the back for them as well. There's been numerous times now in the second half that, not for him, France, I'm sure, would have had much more opportunities to score goals. Really, you look at Juan Fran and Jordi Alba, so keen to get forward. At times, they're nowhere at the back, and with the right pass for France, they could have had more chances.
Sissoko was lurking there to pick that off, and in a flash releases Benzema. Busquets for company. Benzema, a curler, nicely done. Oh, and Sissoko crashing in to meet it. Unable to keep his shot down.
Well, you see there from the replay, very close. I think he's just onside there, and Sissoko slowly making his way to the back post again. No fullback in sight. Jordi Alba there, 5 yards away from Sissoko as he comes back, but you've got to expect a midfield player in that position to do better. Nobody's close enough to put him on there. He sees the ball coming right off the foot of Karim Benzema onto his favoured right foot. Just gets it all wrong.
He's been brought back into the fold by Didier Deschamps, has Moussa Sissoko. Made his debut in 2009. Left out in the cold for the most part by Laurent Blanc. It's just his 5th national team appearance, and that could have been his first goal. Pedro has been bottled up by Debuchy for the most part in the second half. Tweedy across to Ribéry. Now Valbuena. Ribéry. Not quite had his shooting boots on tonight, Frank Ribéry. There are those that say that he should score more for his country as well. He's only got 11 goals in 68 appearances. But just listen to the reception this man is going to get. Returning home. of doubt at the moment as to who he's actually going to replace him. I'm waiting to see if Pedro is going to be okay to continue.
No, he's just saying that he's okay because you don't want to make your final substitution and realise one of your players can't continue. So Pedro's just indicated there that he's okay, and Iniesta will go out of the game.
For the first time since June of 2007, Fernando Torres steps onto the pitch here at the Vicente Calderón. The man who captained the club team here, Atletico Madrid, at the age of 19. Scored 52 goals in this stadium. And that's 7th all time. He's had the chance to come back here in the intervening years, but missed all of those opportunities, twice with Liverpool and once with the national team, all through injury.
Yeah, they'll give you something a little different as well, a little bit happier to run in behind to threaten that back line. It's a high back line, isn't it, for France? And that's worked for them in this game. And Torres has got that little bit of sharpness and the cleverness just to maybe show to feet and spin in behind. And of course, the midfield players of Spain will be able to pick out those runs.
Torres trying to get involved for the first time, does get involved, but clips low on Koscielny. This is cap number 101 for Fernando Torres. At the age of 28. 31 goals for his country. And 2 at Euro 2008, 3 and the Golden Boot this past summer. Euro 2012, he also scored 3 in his first ever big tournament, World Cup in 2006. It's only South Africa, really, where he's disappointed in terms of the big stage. Spain a long way from putting the points to bed here in Madrid. France have come out with a resolute and proactive display in this second half.
I think for the most part as well, Adrian, in the first half it was the same style, and Spain just found it difficult to work that many chances. It wasn't, I mean, I think Pedro had a great chance in the first half. Other than that, I mean, this second half, Spain, I don't think they've really had a decent attempt.
Oh, Torres close to barging his way through there. Well, it's hard to remember a genuine save, isn't it, from Hugo Lloris in this second half. Had to come up with some mighty big ones at the tail end of the first half, most notably the penalty stop from Cesc Fabregas.
Yeah, that could yet be the main defining moment if France can find a way to get a goal. And they've been a lot more lighty in the second half. It just seems that the steam has gone out of Spain a little bit. The sharpness, the energy that they use to get the ball back so often is not working so much. Spain are getting more passes together, feeling better about themselves, developing the play more effectively.
Matthew Valbuena, whose father was actually born in Spain. Torres, on it goes. Promise here, Santi Cazorla. On to Jordi Alba. The attack stalls. And now Valbuena trying to lead France the other way. Hauled in miraculously by Benzema. There's a soft touch. Now Ribéry. Ribéry did well. May fall here for Sissoko. Pulled out of the shot to tee up Benzema instead. Well, it promised so much more, didn't it, for France?
We give Karim Benzema a bit of a hard time in the first half, didn't we, about who he was, what sort of player is he, can he be consistent? I tell you what, we've seen him in this second half. What a lovely touch that is. It's awkward there to get any kind of touch on the ball, and it to be a soft one as well, to bring it down into his path was excellent.
Well, the French travelling support here, and they're not really known for having vociferous travelling support. I believe that this is still possible. The Spanish media tagged this mission impossible for France. They were that confident that Spain would just roll over the French.
Well, I'll tell you what the French are doing now. They're rolling over Spain in midfield. Cesc Fabregas gone back in there, of course, as Torres is up front, but there's so many spaces in there without that holding player in the centre.
Well, astonishingly, Sweden have come from 4-0 down to get a 4-4 draw against Germany. When did Germany ever throw away a 4-goal lead, Robbie?
Thinking the same thing. I mean, what does that do to the Germans? The way that they play the game, my goodness, 4-0 up against Sweden. That's an unbelievable result.
Remember, United States against Guatemala to come later on. For those of you watching in the United States, a double header of World Cup qualifying, if you will, on ESPN2. USA needing just a point to secure their passage through to the hexagonal. Guatemala likewise. A point here would be oh so precious for the French if they could engineer one in the final 10 minutes.
I'll tell you what this does, though. It shows everybody is watching, that Spain are human, that you can get to them, that they're not going to dominate all games for all periods of time. That they do have weaknesses. In midfield at times they're silky and they're super technical, but they're, you know, when things aren't going well, they're not that strong and durable.
But here's Cesc Fabregas trying to reignite the Spanish. Xavi. Torres was just off balance as the ball came his way. Torres, who played in that game in 2006 where Spain went out to France, and in fact if you look at the team from that day, Casillas, Ramos, Fabregas, Xavi, Alonso, Villa and Torres all played a part in that 3-1 defeat to a French team. It was very different. It was almost signalling changing of the generations, if you will. France team were at the end of their period of dominance, and Spain, who hadn't even started theirs.
Sander Cazorla there making the challenge, just lashing the ball out the play is an indication of how this guy's team has struggled in this second half. Xabi Alonso's had to do so much work defensively to try and protect the back four. Here he is again trying to stop Ribéry.
Oh, Ribéry sneaking in again. Busquets, though, making his way out of a jam. This long unbeaten streak of Iker Casillas continues. It's 728 minutes since he last conceded a goal coming into the game. So he's going to be up over 800 now. The world record, by the way, in that department held by Dino Zoff, and he's got some way to go to match that, over 1,100 minutes. Here comes Pedro for Spain. In the end, a straightforward clearance from Mamadou Sakho. All good work from Sissoko, who's been an influence since his appearance. Benzema and Ribéry again. Can France find the wherewithal to cap what has been an adventurous second half display by them? Benzema. He was already offside before he went up to try and meet it.
As they're coming together here, Sergio Busquets there knows that Benzema's behind him. The ball's played and he's half a body offside there, Benzema. And there's a little bit of contact just there as Iker Casillas comes out to claim the ball, but he has been much livelier in this second half. Karim Benzema really has. He's enjoyed the fact that they've had more possession of the football. That's the key thing.
They'll be desperate just to run this off and play a part in the final 5 minutes plus stoppage time. Balancing act as always for the French required. Have to chase the game with ferocity, but can't leave themselves exposed at the other end. Particularly not against this team.
I think they've got the balance just about right, really. You're right, you can't just go gung-ho against Spain, but they've certainly had more of an attacking intent. The system is set up that they can get forward a little bit easier.
Juan Fran up against Evra. Fabregas. Xavi back to Fabregas. Torres. Driving on, Fernando Torres. That was a little pick move, wasn't it, from Cesc Fabregas?
I think for the most part, Mr. Birch has done a good job in the centre. The referee. Just watch Cesc Fabregas here. There it is. Look, the little push, the little shield to make sure Sarko can't get to the ball, and Fernando Torres can.
Olivier Giroud is going to see some action. Benzema, in fact, cannot continue. Hobbling off. Will always be the object of derision. A Real Madrid player coming to Atletico Madrid territory, but he's put in a good shift here, even if it's another one without a goal. It's no goals in 9 for him now.
Yeah, and a worry for Real Madrid and Jose Mourinho. Looked like he got a bang, wasn't it, on his knee, his left knee there, as he could see his teammate at Real Madrid came out in that collision.
An immediate collision involving the substitute Giroud, who's put Xavi Alonso on the ground. So can Giroud be the man for France? His only goal for his country came in a victory against Germany, albeit in a friendly in February of this year. He's had his struggles adapting to life in the Premier League with Arsenal, hasn't he, Giroud? But he'll be awaiting this cross with interest. Giroud almost got there too. In the end, it was Sergio Busquets who just nipped in front of him.
There goes the ice on the knee or just below. It looks maybe on the shin there for Benzema. Looks in a lot of pain there.
Fabregas. A more accurate ball would have had Pedro in acres of space there. Sissoko. Evra onto Valbuena. Back to Evra it goes. Hemmed in by Busquets. Ribéry. France craving an opening.
Interesting, isn't it? You don't often see Spain digging in. A home game against anybody to hang on for the 3 points. That's what they're doing. Full-back to stop getting forward.
Torres. Not jumping Sacco. Now Evra. Ribéry. It's 4 for company. Ribéry! Oh, and he tried his luck at the near post. Casillas was alert, able to get it clear. He won it back Matuidi teeing up Sissoko, who missed his kick horribly. Giroud keeping it alive. This is really bizarre stuff inside the Spanish penalty area, and again, something you so rarely see. Spain defending furiously here. And not with a great deal of composure. Valbuena opens this up. Matuidi across the face of goal. It didn't fall Giroud's way. Blaise Matuidi making a brilliant run into the inside left channel. And the crowd are baying for the whistle here.
Yeah, Spain absolutely stretched to maximum at the back. Desperate challenges inside their own penalty box. All over the place defensively. Very little protection. Matuidi here, number 12, again getting forward.
Xabi Alonso trying to keep tabs on him. Helped out this time by Juan Fran. Huge relief for the Spanish crowd. Pedro can't connect there with Torres, who brings down his man, and Spain perhaps have some more defending to do yet.
There he goes again, tracked all the way from Sergio Busquets. It's come across, there's a stretch from Sergio Ramos, again the man at the back for Spain, just literally holding things together. Santi Cazorla, the nearest midfield player, that just to lash it to safety.
Handball is the verdict. Ribery getting the decision he wanted. And Felix Birch handing out the yellow card. Juan Fran kicking the ball away. Defending France taking the free kick immediately. Well, it may actually do them a favour, a chance to get all the heavy weaponry forward now. Can Valbuena produce the right sort of delivery? Up goes Koscielny, and again, who else? Sergio Ramos just belting it clear. And the chase is on here. Santi Cazorla. From a long way back, didn't he, to make up the ground there on Matuidi.
I was surprised. A little pace there we saw from Santi Cazorla. Getting across the ground very quickly there.
Didier Deschamps, who captained France to World Cup victory and a European Championship victory around the turn of the century. May not be leaving with any points here, but France will be proud of the way they played in this second half. Looks like it's going to come to nothing for them. 3 minutes of stoppage time had nearly elapsed, and Spain have a corner. Desperate to launch one last bid forward is Sissoko. Well, the referee allowed them the time to do so. It's broken down in any case, but Juan Fran is careless. He's given it away. Is there time here? Last chance saloon for France with Sissoko onto... Oh, it's there! They've done it! France have equalised. Ribery teeing up Olivier Giroud. And in the most dramatic fashion imaginable, France have got their reward. Olivier Giroud sends the Blue Army into delirium.
Well, it's very, very late, but you could sense it might just happen. France have been so impressive in the second half, have been so close on many occasions. The last-ditch tackle, Sergio Ramos stopping them. It was an awful giveaway from Juan Fran. But again, look who produces at the end here. Franck Ribéry puts the ball into the centre. The substitute, Olivier Giroud, much maligned in England because he hasn't scored goals for Arsenal, is in the right place at the right time, and it's a composed header, you know. The panic's going through his head as he sees the ball come across. He glances it into the far corner, and you talk about a reaction there from the manager and the players around them. Maybe France now are back with Didier Deschamps.
The man known as the charm striker in France, Olivier Giroud, with a massive goal for his country, and potentially a huge goal along the road to qualifying. Spain held here. This amazing run of the Spanish of consecutive victories in qualifiers has come to an end. Iker Casillas' shutout streak has come to an end. And you have to say, Robbie, it's no more than France deserved.
I think I agree with you, and it wasn't a great night for Spain. I never thought they were really at full tilt throughout the game. We didn't see much of Cesc, of Iniesta, of Xavi Hernandez. France continued their game plan, a very strong, compact, disciplined game plan, and it's come around, hasn't it? It's worked. Hugo Lloris as well, thanks to him, I'm sure, from every French player for saving that penalty.
An extraordinary end to the game with literally the last touch of the ball. France levelling matters against Spain. It finishes 1-1 in Madrid.